All right, today we're going to do a little walkthrough of the Aterra XLF flatbed camper and talk about the power system a little bit. So let's head inside of this beast. And this one has the REDARC Alpha 75 management system in it. And the main screen is right here. You can kind of see you have the REDARC, you have the Truma that operates the Vario heat as well as the AquaGo water heater. We have a right over there is the REDARC inverter. And then down in here, that's a remote control for the ceiling fan. That's the inverter output. And then on the side right here, that guy is the remote control for the Nomadic split unit air conditioner. So that's what's it. But today we're going to focus on the Alpha. So to turn it on, just press the button. And you can kind of see this is the main screen here. Now this screen is going to give you all of your power readings. You can tell right here, if that's lit up, it means that it's charging off your alternator. If the sun is lit up, which it is right now, it means it's charging off your solar. And if that power plug is lit up, that means it's charging off a shore power. Okay? And then here is where you can see how many amps are coming in. This is 7.6 amps is going, 10.2 amps is going to your load. So the load is, whatever we have running. Currently we have the refrigerator, we have the Truma getting power, and we have the 12 volt outlets and lights are over here. So 12 volt systems, that's all your power plugs. I believe that this is also what the wrap-on toilet is connected to. And then over here, this is your lights. So you can see I can press this button. It turns my lights on and off. All right, inside. So anyway, so we have a few things on. We're consuming 10.2 amps. And what is happening is that the battery is outputting 2.7 amps. Now watch this change. If I turn the fridge off, because that's what's pulling the most of the power right now, you're going to see that that's going to convert. This area down here is going to convert over. So now we don't have anything leaving the battery. We're only consuming 7.6 amps, but the solar panels right now are generating 7.7, which means that 1 amp hour is going into your battery storage. Okay, so that's kind of what that means. If I turn the fridge back on, it's going to kick on. It's going to draw more power out of the system. And what it will do is it will not allow the battery to take a charge anymore. All that charge from the solar panels is going to go into the load, and it's going to require some additional battery power as well. So once that fridge kicks on, you'll see that turn over. But let's go through the different components here. So like I said, this icon turns on your air and your water heater. So the Truma Vario as well as the Truma AquaGo, that's connected to this button right here. This icon right here is pretty easy. That's your refrigerator. So that's going to be for the 90-liter fridge freezer. You can also turn this on by the buttons on the fridge. This is where you'll set your fridge temperatures. This is a dual zone. So you have a right compartment and a left compartment. But this is where you'll set the temperatures for this, but you can also turn the power on and off. But a lot easier to turn the power on and off using the REDARC system. All right, this 12 volt button, that's going to be for all your power plugs. So power plugs are by the beds, they're in the corners. And then down here is the main box. This is all going to run off of the 12 volt power. That includes the button right here that turns your wrap-on toilet on. Okay, so you can't turn the wrap-on toilet on unless that 12 volt power switch is selected on. Okay, now to get to the next, up here, if we press that button, that's going to be for your Starlink. There's a roof-mounted Starlink port on these, and that turns power to your Starlink. And then right here, this is for your water pump. You kind of hear it turn on a little bit. Okay, so that's how you can turn the water pump on. And again, this button right here turns your lights on and off. All right, that's just one switch. That's the main switch. There's other switches down again by the entry door. There's a set of switches that will also control some scene lights as well as your interior lights. So there's many places that you can turn those switches on and off. To go to the next page, press the down button. You can tell the center stayed the same, but my icons somewhat changed. This icon up in the corner here is going to be for the light that's inside your water tank. I'm going to turn it off so you can kind of see what I'm saying. So down below the fridge is a little viewport. If I turn that on, you can tell that that lit up. Okay, it's a great way to check to see what your water level is in the tank. Turn that on and it's going to quickly show you where that water level is at. All right, this next button that looks like a propeller, you turn that on. That's for the FARS system, the fresh air replenishment system. Now that's going to turn on down here at the bottom. There's a little fan inside there, and the fresh air replenishment system is mounted on the back of these Aterra campers, and it's going to pull in fresh air or stale air from the top in the camper right here, and then it's going to bring in fresh air, preheat it or pre-cool it to the temperature that you have the interior of the camper, and it's going to blow it out down there in the bottom. So it's going to help you keep all your windows closed, all your doors closed, but still bring in fresh air and kind of replenish that stale air that's inside your camper without losing too much heat or too much cooling and keeping everything efficient. Okay, turn that off. And then this bottom button right here, that button is going to be for underneath the fridge. There is a CO2 monitor down here. Okay, now the reason that we have the CO2 monitor on its own switch is because sometimes you don't need it on, but other reasons is because if there is some off-gassing or something going on, or that keeps going off in the middle of the night, you can't really just easily turn it off in order to, if the system goes faulty or anything else. And there have been some complaints about these units not really, maybe some faulty units going in there. So what AT did is, instead of, having to live with constant beeping while you're out on a camping trip, they put that on its own switch. So light it up to turn it on, press it to turn it off. So if it is malfunctioning for any reason, you can turn that off. I think ideally you want it on for safety, especially if you're using the heater. But if you're not using the heater or any of the propane elements inside the camper, you can just turn that button off, and then there's no fear of that turning on, unexpectedly in the middle of the night and waking you up. Okay, so that's just a bit of what the icons are. The button up in here, that is also for scene lights outside. And again, there's a secondary switch over in the corner over here that will also operate when that button is selected. So a little bit in regards to how the power system is set up on this REDARC Manager, and all the icons and how it will help you operate your Aterra XLF flatbed camper. Hope you enjoyed the video.